What we're saying, guys, back again. So, do you want bulletproof knees in 2024? That's what I'm going to be going through today. 10 steps for you to get bulletproof knees. Great facials there, but that is impressive considering I've had like every single knee injury you can think of. That is impressive, not going to lie. Right, yeah, this is about to be my most value packed video yet. I'm going to try and not keep it too long. There's 10 things in this video. And if I would have known these 10 things and applied all of them in the way that I do in my workouts every single day now, and I would have known these at the very start of my injury, that 5 years out of football would have been down to like 1 year. So obviously, I'm very grateful for having the 5 years out because I get to teach all of you guys this and help you reduce that amount of time to get back to football. But would I have liked to have gotten back in a year? Yes. Okay, so cool. The first, most of you probably know this, depending on where you're coming from, depending on if you follow ACG much and that kind of stuff, but walk backwards on a dead mill 4+ times a week. I do it personally every day. And the reason you can do it this many times is because it's a short range exercise and it's got no eccentric. So most of the tissue damage, muscle damage, when you go into the gym and you're lifting and doing this kind of stuff, comes in the eccentric portion of the lift, so the way down. When you've got a dead mill here, you see how you're only pushing against it. You're not coming back. There's no weight until you push into it. So you're getting the concentric only, and it's just stimulating loads of blood flow. So this is the first level of knee ability. This is the first step of knees over toes training. Again, like I just said, there's not much breakdown in the tissue, but you're still getting stronger in that knees over toes position, which does ultimately make your knee stronger. There's a lot of healing. So because of all the blood flow, because of the short range activity, there's so much, your body pretty much wants heat. It wants blood flow to be able to heal stuff. Rice came out, well, not his name wasn't Rice, but the guy who made Rice ice compression, all that kind of stuff, came out and said, don't ice your knee. It can actually make it worse. So if you've been taught ice your knee, rest it, do all this stuff, don't do this instead. Do pain-free movement, get the blood flow, get the healing, because that's what's going to actually get stuff going. And this is Chinese wisdom. It's been passed down thousands of years through hundreds of generations, and basically they get all their elderly to walk backwards through the streets. If you've actually been to China, you might have seen this, but if you've seen videos and stuff, because it's been shown to prevent arthritis. So they get loads of people to just walk backwards if they're having knee issues. And yeah, this is what started my knee journey. I couldn't do pretty much anything, and my knee was in pain for so long. And I'd done this the first time, and I had knee relief for the first time in like a year, 2 years, and it was, oh my god, amazing. So try it. Awesome. Second is VMO is king. So I don't know where the O came from because it's the vastus medialis. I think it means obliques, but I don't think that's actually part of it. Anyway, it's the tear-shaped quad muscle, the one on the inside here. A lot of people have weak VMOs depending on where you're coming from. And it's the primary player in protection of knee cartilage, and it can help improve patellar tracking. So this muscle is really, really important. People thought that it couldn't be preferentially trained, and people still argue that it can't, but it very much can if you see in step-ups, and you also see in deep knee bends, such as the ATG split squat, sissy squats and stuff like that. You can see that the VMO is working over time. And just by looking at all the HG coaches that have been doing all the HG stuff, they have massive VMOs, which is awesome. So yeah, get your VMO strong. Third, don't forget your hamstrings. In ATG, we talk a lot about step up, split squats, all this kind of stuff, which is absolutely amazing. It's directly targeting the front of the knee, which is a lot of weakness in people. A lot of people come to me and they can't do step ups on a high height, so it means that okay, they have weakness there. But it doesn't mean I don't program them hamstrings. You need to train your hamstrings because while decelerating, landing, and changing directions, the hamstrings are in action. So if they're weak, your chance of injury go up. Pretty simple. And there's two ways which the hamstrings can be trained. One is knee flexion, and two is hip extension. So to start with, depending on how far we are along in the journey, knee flexion, we want to be doing hamstring curls. These are short range movement, gets loads of blood flow, still gets stronger hamstrings. But then eventually, to bulletproof over time, we want to be going to a long range exercise like the Nordic curl. And these have been absolutely key for me. Personally, I had hamstring tendonitis. This progression from lying hamstring curls to Nordic curls got rid of that for me and also helped with my ACL. So yeah, awesome. And then hip extension, two best ones in my opinion are RDLs and seated good mornings. I personally love the seated good mornings a bit more. It's probably a little less hamstrings, but you get adductors, you get the lengthening of the glutes, you get lower back strength. Like, I think it's one of my favorite exercises of all time, especially for football players. Like, we've got groin issues all the time, so doing Sig 1 is going to really help that. So train your hamstrings. 4, mobility is key to getting pain free. So if you're tight, if you're immobile, you're putting unnecessary force on your knee. If your hips are really tight, when you go to run and stuff, you can't get into positions you need to, and that's going to put more force on your knee. So also you'll have more strength potential. The deeper end ranges can allow you to have more strength, more restructuring of the tissue. So a long range exercise like this is an HG split squat. This is going to cause more structural adaptation. So Keegan brought this to light for me. The short range and long range concepts, where short range we use to heal, long range we use to actually cause the structural adaptation, which is why we do sled first in the workout and then go to the split squats later in the workout. We warm up the knee, get it going, and then we cause the structural adaptation. And then 5th, no weak links whatsoever. Train the smaller forgotten muscles. Tibs, soleus, hip flexors, lower back can even help, even though it's not that small of a muscle. But if you're thinking about your knee, you're not thinking, I'm going to train my lower back. So we've got to be targeting every single muscle. There's no weak links, because every single thing can add up. I say this to people. It's like, if you're making progress in your tibs, that's going to help. Everything will add up over time. If you're getting stronger tibs, if you're getting stronger lower back, if you're getting stronger hip flexors, that is all going to add to getting healthier knees. And obviously, Charles Poliquin came up with this concept of structural balance. He used it for more of the upper body, whereas Ben Patrick took his concept and then applied it to whole lower body and everything like that, which is how we got ATG standards and the freak standards. So we basically, structural balance just means we want to be balanced leg to leg, arm to arm, lift to lift. So it doesn't mean doing exactly the same weight. Like tibs, for example, probably the standard is like 20% of body weight on a tib bar for 10 reps or something like that. But then if you go on to something like a squat, it's 100% body weight for 5 to 10 reps. So it's not the exact same weight, but it's just the comparison of what should be strong, because obviously the tibs are a smaller muscle than the quads, than the glutes and all that kind of stuff. But have no weak links. And if you want to know my structural balance numbers, send me a DM. Unilateral training. So I personally think this is better than, especially when you first got injured. My legs were absolutely unproportionate. My mobility was everything. So the AC split squat was absolutely key for me to getting back healthy. I would add in an extra set on my left leg. So then it's getting more stimulus, getting more work done, it grows bigger, and you can then balance out your leg size over time. That's a big issue when we're coming off surgery. We usually have a lot of muscle atrophy and we just want to build that back up. And then also mobility balancing. So on my left side, my ankle mobility was really, really poor after my knee injury. And adding in the extra set of ASG split squats, Patrick step ups, this kind of stuff also balanced my mobility. So you could do less work on your right leg and do more on your left, but you could still be growing bigger muscles on your right side because you're getting into those deep ranges. Like I said before, the mobility, you're able to get more range of motion and that kind of stuff. So I had that issue as well. I was like, I'm still doing an extra set on my left leg, but my right's getting bigger. So what I had to do was balance my mobility and then balance my legs over time. So yeah, think about that. Food choices, big one. Training is very, very important, and that's where we're going to get most of the gains and stuff like that. But if you're eating shit food, you're not going to be getting to the end point as fast as you can. So one big thing that helped me was switching to whole foods. So instead of eating processed stuff, which gives you cravings, which inflames your knee, stuff like this, I just switched to whole foods. So I eat a lot of red meat, mince, eggs, chicken, stuff like this, and I ate more protein. Protein is going to keep you more satiated. It's going to help you build more muscle and restructure the tendons quicker. So getting these two is really, really important. Healthy fats as well. Don't miss out on anything. Don't think fats are bad for you. Don't think eggs are bad for you. Don't listen to them. They're good. Get more protein. Get more whole foods. And then also some supplements, if you want to add them in, are vitamin D3, omega-3 fish oils, and then collagen. I have a load of other ones. Obviously, sleep is super, super important. So we want to be having some supplements for sleep, maybe some magnesium. I obviously love Epsom salt baths. I have it pretty much every night, and it just makes me relax in the evening, makes me get good sleep. So yeah, let me know again if you want any help with your supplement choices. And then progressive overload is number 8. So we can't get stuck in the same training for the long time. We need to progressive overload. The stimulus and the more weight, the more load, the more range of motion, the different leverage is gonna be the thing that actually causes the adaptation. If you're just doing ACG split squats and you've been doing them flat ground for ages and you've just thought, oh, I'm doing flat ground ACG split squats and my knee's not getting better, well, put some weight on that bitch. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to help just staying at the same thing over and over. Like, you need to improve. So this was like a year ago. This was even longer ago. But so I went from flat ground. Well, I went from really, really, really elevated front foot assistance on my body weight when I first started. Now I can do. I think yesterday I done self 45 kg on my back for 8 reps on the ACG split squat. So that is why I can do the things that I can do. I can do the sissy squats and that kind of stuff because I'm doing the basics at a really, really high level. So yeah, you can change the ways you can progress overload are range of motional leverage. So like I say, reducing the height on the ACG split squat or increasing the height on a step up. And again, that helps with leverage. So increasing the load as well, like I said, going from this to that. Obviously, this all wants to be pain free, and I'll talk about that in the next slide. And then also variations. Try back squat, go to however much you can. Try front squat, do however much you can. Goblet squats, mix up the variation. Lower body is dumber than upper body. If you think about it, like you can do more with your hands and all this kind of stuff, whereas with your feet you can't do all that kind of stuff. So you don't need as much variation for the lower body as you do for the upper body. But add it in, it's going to be good. So yeah, then pain-free training. So progressively overload is only if you can do it pain-free. So if you can do flat ground split squats, fully controlled, amazing reps for 5, and it's pain-free, add 1.25 in each hand, kg. Add 2.5 kg in each hand. If it's painful, go back. Done too much. Progress too fast. So yeah, just make sure that it's pain-free in the session, after the session, the days after the session. Not obviously there is going to be some kind of like feeling that you've used the tendons, especially when you first get into this style of training and we haven't used the tendons that much. So you've got to differentiate between pain and like some, like, you know how you get DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. You can kind of get that with tendons, but obviously you don't want to go too far. And yeah, like pain is just our body's way of telling us something's wrong. So if you're training through pain, you're just going to get setbacks. I remember I done this. I was like, oh, I need to get to the standards. 6-inch step up, 8-inch step up, put more load on. And then I was training through pain and I just had to regress. And it was like, I thought I had to hit these numbers and do all this stuff, but you have to do it pain-free. Obviously, I'm not saying don't progressive overload and don't push yourself. Still train hard, still progressively overload, but just pay attention to the pain, pay attention to what you're doing, especially in the knee joint dominant movements like patch step-ups, this kind of stuff. And like this. So everyone wants to be able to do this eventually. I wanted to do it for the longest time. Now I can do it. But if I would have gone into this 2 years ago, I would have snapped my knee. I would have gone back. So take your time, progressively overload over time, and only do it if it's pain-free. So yeah. Also, number 10, last one, is learn from someone. So a quote that I absolutely love from Bob Proctor, amazing guy, RIP, is find someone that has done the thing that you want to do and ask them, what should I do? So for me, it was Ben Patrick, it was Keegan, it was 82 for Coaches people. I was asking, what should I do? I was watching all Ben's YouTube videos. I was watching all his Instagram content. I was like, what do I do? Obviously, he's done it. He had 10 knee surgeries and he got back to doing all the crazy shit that he does. So yeah, free research. This is why I'm putting the free resources out here. Why I'm doing the reels, why I'm doing the YouTube videos now, because I want people to be able to learn from my experience and not go through what I went through for 5 years. And yeah, just learn from me. So, and ultimately learn more and get results quicker with a program that's made for you. So yes, watching content, doing all reels, all this kind of stuff is going to help, and it's what helped me. I probably, if I would have gone straight to a coach straight away, I would have been like progressing a lot faster and been back a lot quicker than I am. It took me. However, I wouldn't have learned all the lessons that I did. So it's a blessing and a disguise. Like, what's your goal? Do you want to have all the setbacks in the world and learn the most, or do you want to learn from someone else's mistakes. Like, I've done all the mistakes. You don't need to do it. Like, I'll just teach you the right way to do it. And again, it doesn't necessarily need to be me. The AC app is there. I have online coaching. I know a lot of other people have online coaching, even in person coaches. There's not as many in the UK if you're watching this in the UK. But yeah, just learn from someone. Take stuff. And the good thing about this as well is, like, you get to build relationships. Although, like, it's a shit situation, like, oh, my knee's messed up, like, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling hopeless, all this stuff. There's good that can come out of it. Although you might not take the advice in the moment, because I didn't. I was like, oh, I'm absolutely, like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. And technically it was, but at the same time it was the best. It taught me all the lessons. I built great relationships. I wouldn't be in the position I am if I didn't have all my setbacks, if I didn't have my knee pain, if I didn't go searching for other people. I've built relationships through ATG, and it's been amazing for me. So yeah, that's another benefit of it. And just like the mental side of stuff, if you have a coach, you can talk to them about what they've been through, and like your mental side of it. I've had people come to me with loads of setbacks, and I've been able to talk to them, hop on a Zoom call, just chat to them, and they felt better after. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, message me on Instagram if you got any questions. I'm most active on there. Comment down below. I'm probably going to go through all these individually at some point. Let me know which ones you would want to see 100% in a full breakdown. And yeah,